Oh crap. I forgot the controls!
Hey everyone, and good morning. Here at Otakon now. I didn't get to like say what's actually online. Just kind of rushing. I actually got out of line just to figure out I was actually in the right line, so I had to go back in line to get inside. Right now I'm at a Gundam panel right now, Gundam Wing. I think it's like the I think it was the 30th anniversary, 25th or 30th, I can't remember. But yeah, so I'm just waiting to get this started, and I'll catch you all later.
Now let's get some familiarity. Raise your hand if you've seen Gundam Wing before. Not surprising. Now keep your hands raised if you watched it back in 2000 when it first aired on Toonami. There we go. So if you kept your hands raised, you're in the same boat as us. Almost 20 years ago now, Gundam Wing captured the American imagination with cavalcades of colorful giant robots piloted by a flurry of cute anime boys descending down a maddening rabbit hole of political intrigue that, for many of us as kids, was very much secondary to the cool characters and exploding robots. But now that Nozomi Entertainment, the anime publishing branch of Bright Stuff, has released Gundam Wing for the first time in America in HD, we felt that it was a great opportunity to take a look back at the show in this retrospective. We want to take a gander at how this 23-year-old show holds up after such a long time. So as we rewatched the show for the panel, we decided to ask ourselves the question, is the show good in its own right, or is it merely the case of nostalgia? We'll be answering that question as we see it throughout the duration of the panel, as we reminisce about different facets of Gundam Wing. Its production and distribution history, both in Japan and America, its themes and motifs, the plot, the characters, robots, and for a final bit, some of the few funny things we noticed on this rewatch. Now, before we dive into the meat of it, we do need to include a spoiler warning. It's a retrospective, so it comes with the territory, but better safe than sorry for me to let you know. So the original idea behind Gundam Wing brings us back to a simpler time in Gundam's history. So for 15 years, Gundam shows had all centered around the original Universal Century timeline. But as part of the 15th anniversary celebrations, a group of series were produced that diverged from the original Gundam timeline and allowed new creators to take a crack at the franchise. The first of these series made as part of this project was Mobile Fighter G Gundam. That's a fun one. Now, this one differed a lot from the Universal Century, as real robot warfare was superseded by like Super Robot Fight Club awesomeness. But after this finished its run, the next up as part of the project was our show, New Mobile Report Gundam Wing. Now, Wing had a few firsts for the Gundam franchise. This was the first alternate timeline that played off the original series theme of like serious political strife and showcased proper real robot aesthetics again. Additionally, it was the first time in Gundam where the unified world government body, in this case the Alliance in Wing, was actually the antagonistic organization instead of the origin point for the protagonists. In fact, the Alliance's structure, which was that of a proper confederation, was the first time they had ever done that as opposed to like a single unified nation. And this is going to be important when we talk about things later on. Now finally, the first part of the title itself, New Mobile Report, is both the first and the last time they used this precursor. The original Japanese title is Shin Kido Senki Gundam Wing, as you read it aloud. Shin Kido is pretty easy, that's the new mobile bit. The other word though, Senki, literally means something like military history, and this is a play off the original Kido Senshi or mobile suit. And this was part of the producer's desire to kind of differentiate Wing in a fun and a different way from its predecessors. So while that title, New Mobile Report Gundam Wing, captures some of the idea behind the title, there is in fact a little bit more going on under the surface. Now it's also cool to note that Gundam Wing premiered on April 7th, 1995, on the 16th anniversary of the airing of the first episode of Mobile Suit Gundam. after that, things didn't go so smoothly. So the producer of it, Hideyuki Tomioka, he had made a promise that every episode would be ready to go, like a week before it was shown. But this created scheduling problems and resulted in what he admits is some less than stellar animation at times. For example, this is why episodes 27 and 28 ended up being recaps. What Gundam Wing really had going for it, though, was one of the greatest commercials to ever grace a TV anime.
In the distant future,
Yes.
mankind has reached the stars, but the galaxy is troubled. The Earthsphere Alliance rules the outlying colonies with an iron fist.
I'm sure God would understand the steps we're taking.
Isn't it about time people realized the ones posing the most threat are none other than yourselves? We've had enough!
Those who oppose them
We won't be needing you any further.
battles are waged with mobile suits, the key to military dominance. The only hope for the colonies, 5 elite soldiers and their legendary mobile suits called Gundams.
Will be a day when the Gundams will save us all!
What this is war.
Already are very mistaken, and the Gundams will soon come to rectify your mistakes.
Silence!
Now, these pirates will shake the foundations of the Alliance and change the course of history.
You saw I was a kid and you underestimated me.
If they can stay alive.
Those Gundam pilots are desperate. They'll battle even if it means forfeiting their lives. Mission accepted. Eliminate all obstacles.
Just who are you anyway?
Get all mobile suits ready for combat at once!
From the Gundam universe, a new chapter in one of the greatest anime sagas of all time, Gundam Wing.
While Gundam had technically been released on the American market before, nothing came close to Wing's popularity. We, like many of you with us today, remember sitting around talking about the previous day's episode at school, playing Gundam Wing on the playground, and having toys and knickknacks that you could play with. And when it finally came time for Endless Waltz to air, Optimus Prime called on us again.
After Colony 196, humanity finally achieves peace. But the ashes of war give birth to a new threat.
We at Colony L3X18999 hereby declare war against the nation.
A child is building an empire to avenge her father.
I will rule the world.
The Gundams at her side, Earth will feel
Colony on Earth! Stop this at once!
the remaining pilots will battle each other to stop her.
Honest, you guys are doing the right thing!
The endless waltz of war, peace, and revolution continues.
See for yourself just how powerless you are.
You will surrender!
Special Gundam Wing movie, Endless Waltz, Friday, November 10th at 5. Suit up again. Only Toonami.
Yeah, so this initial November 10th, 2000 airing of Endless Waltz was super successful. At the time, it brought in the second highest ratings that Cartoon Network had ever experienced. In the end, what's so important, though, for anime in America as a whole is that Wing was the catalyst for creating the majority of American Gundam fans that exist today. Now, Gundam Wing's success wasn't really very well capitalized on by its handlers initially. Their next choice of the original Gundam television show just didn't jive with the zeitgeist at the time, and Gundam's popularity began to waver. Only very recently has Gundam kind of placed itself back on a solid footing in a way that can bring in new fans with the Nozomi releases and same-day streaming. And while a lot of Nozomi releases have been pretty bare bones, one big testament to the popularity of Wing can be seen in the release it received here in the States. Not only did we get simple Blu-ray sets, but we got this behemoth of an Ultimate Edition that's the nicest one they've released to date. And with Gundam Wing now readily available to folks who watched it when they were kids, we're really hoping that we're going to begin to see it as something that parents can show to their children. So if any of you out there have kids or you're kind of introducing to robot shows or know young people that want to try it out, Gundam Wing is a really, really solid choice, and kids are especially the perfect audience for it.
Oops, sorry. Alright everyone, and I'm back. That was the Gundam panel I was at earlier. Unfortunately, I didn't make it in time to one of the panels just because of the fact that it's really hard for me to go from one panel to another panel. So right now I'm at the game room, trying to find out where, or at least, wait, never mind, I found them. Alright guys, and we're here now at the end of the line. Thought this was it, because normally it was at the other end of the gaming room, but here it is, the Gundam pods that I was in last year. I have waited a long time for this. This is going to be awesome. Unfortunately, I do not. I was a complete bonehead and forgot my shoulder mount, so I won't really be, I don't think I'll be able to record the gameplay this year. Might try to do something, but I'm not guaranteeing anything. Also, I was curious because I want to know, you know, how much could one of these things cost, you know? Turns out you can't buy them individually, you can only buy them in sets of 4. And the price for that, you know, is $9,985. Yeah, I can't afford that. Now, like, if someone wanted to, you know, split the cost with me, we all go in like $2,500, that would be cool, but I really can't afford these guys. I would love to. Also, I have nowhere to put these. I mean, if I had just like one of them, I would try to make something work, but for, yeah, that's not happening. I don't know how well you all can see this, but cool, that sounds good. I'm a guest 2. Let's go there. Everyone gets a proper name except me. I'm just guest 2. Australia. Oh, nice, Australia. Yeah, I'm oh, I guess the lane. Fine, let's do it. Oh yeah, we're getting that beam saber. Oh yeah. Hajimete. Oh, this thing is slow. Alright. Last year I only survived my first encounter. The other times I actually like died. Let's see if I can do better this year. Oh yeah. Okay, so how do I advance again actually? Oh crap.
I forgot the controls!
Why not sure?
Crap, I don't know what I'm doing.
Alright, cool. Aha! Alright, cool. Got that guy. Darn it. Overheated. It's not down yet. Get out of the way. Trying to. Nice. Alright. Oh no, not these guys. Yeah. Don't know what I did, but darn it. Okay, no. Oh, darn me. No, watch out! I was going to do that to you. Alright, no. Alright, give me some support here or something, you know? Let's take this guy. No. Went right into that thing. Alright. Okay. No, come here. How do I use my sword? I don't know what I'm doing. Alright. Oh, I see. That's how we do it. Okay, that's not how I do it then. I'm learning stuff. I'm learning how to do stuff. No, you don't. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. I'm taking you with me. Alright, I'm backing out, guys. It's too hot for me. I can't do this. Oh, he's gonna be a big problem. Come on. Okay, guys, and we're gonna back me up here. Get me out. Alright, so I died. That sure was fun. How did I run out of post that quickly? Ah. Oh no, he's got me. Okay, then I got it. Got my way, dude. Oh yeah, how's it feel, huh? How's it feel? Yes, now I am... Okay, I'm actually in the corner right now. Wait, what? Oh, nice. I like my ranking. Number 1. Oh, but I'm still C. Well, some things don't change. Alright, so I went to decide to charge my camera, and this happened. The charge port just see if I can, like, it just broke or something like that. I don't know how you can see that. It'll focus up. But yeah, so I can't use this guy anymore, which is sad because I've had it for about, what, three plus years, and this just happens to me. So I'm gonna have to use my phone camera now to do recordings and stuff. I don't know how well the audio is gonna be for that, so we'll just have to see. If I can't really do anything if I can't do anything else, then I guess I'll just say like my usual, take care everyone, iamxeracon signing off and whatnot, but I'll see what happens. I won't really know until I actually get into the editing process. This stinks.